Remember and understand that you have the power to design the next phase of your life through the decisions that you are making in this moment. Because as I'm being taught currently now by my mentor now, she's teaching me that the only moment that matters is now. What you are deciding in this moment right now. Because even the past has a now. Even the past at some point becomes now, because when you reflect back to the past, you can let those feelings, those emotions affect you at the present moment. Even when you look at the future, the anxieties, the fears can affect you in the current moment. So the only moment that you really have to focus on is now. And in this now, you have to make a decision. What choices am I going to make? How am I going to be living my life? Or are you going to be like that woman with the flow of blood, making a decision and saying, that is where my salvation lies? Or are you going to be looking at the problem and saying, this is too big, I cannot get past this. Or I'm too angry, I can't look past this. Thank you for joining me for another insight. My name is Vince, aka Vinny Mac. Today we are speaking about the power of your decisions. And I want to share with you from a grounded perspective, as per usual, how my decision making affects my thinking, my life on a day-to-day basis. And how outcomes in my life has been changing because I understand and accept the power behind decisions that I do make in the course and the trajectory of my life. On this channel, I provide you with value from a grounded perspective, giving you insights that hopefully provide you with value to help you shift your thinking, shift your beliefs, and just tap into a higher purpose or a higher level of who you are capable of being. Because the aim and the drive of this channel is to help you change your thinking so that you can start living your life God's way. Sometimes you look at your life and you see the outcomes in your life, and we fail to realize that it's our decisions that have created these outcomes that we have in our lives. We normally think it's just the actions that we are taking, but our actions are based on the decisions that we are making primarily before we take these actions. And those decisions, sometimes they happen on a conscious level, sometimes they happen on a subconscious level. It is all derived from the programming that we are running in our minds and our hearts on a day-to-day basis. But I don't want to dive too deep into that part of it. Like I said, the journey here is all about keeping it grounded, keeping it focused. So coming back to decision making, the power of our decisions. I took my daughter out for driving lessons last week, and I was like over-explaining driving to her, and at one point we got into an accident. I remember getting out of the car because firstly, this is my dad's car, it's not my car. And I looked at the damage, I surveyed the damage, and I was like very upset in that moment. And when she got out of the car, I looked at her, and in a blink of an eye, I reflected back to when I started driving. Oh, I was filled with anxiety, with excitement, with fear, just this cocktail of emotions that first time my brother-in-law took me out driving. So when I looked at her, I saw all of that, and I realized I have a decision to make. I can either get upset and angry because I was upset and angry, and I can project that onto her, or I can say, okay, she made a mistake, but what can we learn from this mistake? And I told her, get back into the car. She got back into the car, we started driving, and she drove way better than what she did before she got into the accident. And that came down to the power of decision, the power of a decision that I made in a heated moment, because I was very frustrated. I was very angry, I was very upset in that moment. But I chose how I wanted to relate that over to my daughter. And because of the choice that I made, she was able to empower herself, take her life to another level by learning to drive the car and driving it in a proper manner. Not perfectly, but way better than what she did before she got into the accident. Because sometimes we can get caught up in the emotions and, the despair of the whole situation that we sometimes find ourselves in, the anxiety, the anger, the frustration, the hopelessness, whatever it is. We build our decisions on how we feel at the end of the day. Well, that's my thinking, my belief. And in Corinthians, Paul really reminds us so beautifully. He says that, we are hard-pressed. I'm trying to get this verse correctly. We are hard-pressed on every side, but not destroyed or crushed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. And I think that was where my emotions and my thinking was with regards to this particular accident. I was like hard-pressed. I was really being pushed to my limits because now, like I said, this is not my car, this is my father's car, and I know how he loves overreacting with regards to these things. And my thinking and his thinking is not on the same level. Our decision making is not the same, on the same bandwidth. But I also have to respect his decision making because, like I said, it's his car. So I have to respect his emotions with regards to that as well. And in that situation, I needed to respect or become aware of my emotions towards my daughter and how my decision making affects my daughter as well. So as hard pressed as I was in that situation, I made a decision to empower my daughter out of the situation. That reminds me so much of a story in the Bible. This is actually one of my favorite encounters in the Bible. Jesus' encounters in the Bible, where the woman with the flow of blood, she made a conscious decision in that situation that she found herself in. And she said, it doesn't matter how many people are in her way. It doesn't matter what obstacle she has to overcome. If she can just touch the hem of his garment, then she will find her salvation. She will find a healing for something that physicians couldn't help her with. And I love that. I love that determination that this woman showed with regards to that situation, because that is the type of thinking and practice that I try to bring in my own life, in my own journey. Because man, we get put in situations that is just really beyond anything that we think we can handle. And it goes back to this verse in Corinthians where it says, we are hard pressed on all sides, but we are not crushed. And sometimes we build it up into such a level that we actually think that we are crushed. We start thinking thoughts of defeat, forgetting that Jesus died on the cross to give us the victory, to give us the breakthrough. And all of that brings us back to the power of decision. You have the power and the ability to decide, regardless of how tense a situation is, regardless of how hopeless a situation is. You have the power to decide the way forward for you in that situation. So I want to challenge you to look right now at whatever situation you are facing right now, whether it be good, whether it be bad. Remember and understand that you have the power to design the next phase of your life through the decisions that you are making in this moment. Because as I'm being taught currently now by my mentor, she's teaching me that the only moment that matters is now. What you are deciding in this moment right now. Because even the past has a now. Even the past at some point becomes now. Because when you reflect back to the past, you can let those feelings, those emotions affect you at the present moment. Even when you look at the future, the anxieties, the fears can affect you in the current moment. So the only moment that you really have to focus on is now. And in this now, you have to make a decision. What choices am I going to make? How am I going to be living my life? Or are you going to be like that woman with the flow of blood, making a decision and saying, that is where my salvation lies? Or are you going to be looking at the problem and saying, this is too big. I cannot get past this. Or I'm too angry. I can't look past this. Whatever it is, you have the power and the ability to make a decision. So at the end of the day, you are responsible for the decisions that you make as well. That is the purpose and the point of this particular insight, to help you reflect and understand and unpack that no matter what comes against you, you make the choice how you react and how you respond to all of that. Now, I hope you took value from this particular insight. I hope you're really gonna use it in terms of your thinking, in terms of your journey, and that is gonna help you on your path, on your journey forward. And if you took value from this, please share it with the next person. Let's impact lives out there. Let's help people shift their thinking, and let's help them tap into living their lives God's way by sharing insights and values like these. And if you haven't yet, please by all means do subscribe to the channel. Drop me a like. Also send me some feedback. I love hearing from you. I love hearing your thoughts, your thinking as to how these insights are affecting you. Thank you to everyone that has been giving me feedback. I really do appreciate all of you. I appreciate your support as well in helping me grow this channel and helping me take God's word out to people from a different perspective, from a different view. Because that's the goal of this particular channel, just to bring it grounded, just to make it more real to people out there. So thank you very much for that. I look forward to seeing you on the next insight. I look forward to adding more value to your life. So for now, this is Vinny Max saying, change your thinking, change your world.